Yeah. You already know what it is. You rocking with your boy Czar, all rights reserved. Again, I freestyle this. I handle business. Um, let's just get into it. Now that Riva Motorsports is in the crosshairs of everything we're talking about, it's time to ride on Riva Motorsports. The first subject we're going to cover, ambulance and authorities. And since they were so quiet and I didn't get no response on the video talking about it or anything pertaining to what happened actually, that's what we're going to conversate about. Riva Motorsports. Now, ponder me this. Black and mild. Smoothing out right before I deliver this to you guys on this day. Now, ponder me this. How is it possible that authorities showed up around the same time his mother and his stepdad showed up? Not only that, the ambulances, I agree. And I'm going to get back to the commenters. Again, if you commented something of this sort, if you post your name or information or something you want to be up, I'll literally send that through and we'll make sure we get that information posted for you. How did an ambulance and stuff show up so late, let alone authorities show up late? I remember I asked this question a little while ago. Now, in me asking this question, it gave me time to actually think about the question itself. What would make it that authorities who are looking for danger not to show up, them not to release who was in the car with him, let alone question them and make it available to the public, which should have been no problem. But we got so many witnesses running around saying they saw what happened when we know they ran inside because they didn't want none of that smoke. They all ran inside. Well, I think that answers itself. There was more to it. And in this, let's think about it. Now, the commenter, please drop your name. You said a good fact. On Google Maps, if you actually take a look, you can see areas and what's there. In that area, it shows multiple spots for security. Multiple ways they would have seen someone. Same way that if I stole something there, they would see it. So how'd they do it? How did you do that? How'd you not have any footage? How is it not releasable? How is it not available to the public? Well, there's a very simple answer. Because it implicates people they don't want to be implicated in the situation. So what's up with that? Why don't you want these people implicated in the situation when they're literally part of the incident? That doesn't make sense. Then I really started thinking, and I'll save my deduction for another time, because all we want to think about is why don't we have footage? You know what I mean? That's the first one. And then why aren't the proper authorities who get called to every scene? Why aren't they mentioned? Why is there there's not even there's not even some type of understanding pressed upon us from these parties? This is something that we've seen before. Think about it. Every major superstar that we presume to be in a setup that had a situation of this magnitude always had this outcome. What are these outcomes about? Well, I think it's actually pretty simple. It's actually way more simple than we think. This was literally an inside job of some sort. And I don't want to call it the Italian job because I think that's kind of fucked up to even think of a movie with this type of stuff. But if you look at the movies, this is exactly how the bad guy setup starts a movie. Think about it. Somebody's going in somewhere, the opening reels on, and when they get into a place, there's people around them that they may be calm around, maybe seen around before, but now the setup begins and there's a shocked look on their face, just as the look that the witness described. But again, how did you describe that when you ran inside? I've been sitting around thinking about that. There's no way you could have interpreted the story. You could have said anything, even helped us to figure out what was going on. When you ran inside, you ran. Then you said his uncle caught up with you. Look at the distance from the gate. Again, the commenter that mentioned this, I agree. Look at the distance from the gate. Do you see how far that is? So you're saying he had that athletic ability to do that, and these gunmen couldn't even take a shot at him. But the moment 10XX stepped up, they just fed it to him. They just decided, yo, he doesn't need to be here anymore, and hit him and took his stuff. Think about it. And then I was wrong. Riva Motorsports did have a reply. Their reply was, listen, he was like family to us. Oh, was he? So this guy, Tentacion, you knew. So remember, I gave 4 parties that were probable in the situation. How is that possible? What's the probability? What's the situation revolving in? You know, if he is like family, was someone who worked there part of this? It brings up more questions now. You shouldn't have said that. I don't know if Riva Motorsports was thinking he was like family to us. That simple speak means you knew him, and you might have had some type of leverage in this situation. He showed up at your shop, but then I don't see the video. So what does that really mean to me? I don't see the video. You say he's like family. No one's talking. You got a witness that contradicts his entire story. Officers don't really show up. Then you got his mother and his stepfather showing up with the quickness. What's going on? You know, and as if you heard anyone was hurt, why would you presume he's gone? My first thought would be, which hospital? It wouldn't be, oh, is he in his car laid out? You know what I mean? It's a way of thinking. And I don't like the way they're thinking. And I don't like the way the information was introduced. Now, I've seen some people's comments on how they're wondering why Boatwright requested information that he did. If I was him, I would request it too. Because I didn't see anything with him having to do with it. And I could understand the witness statement. He can't have that. But in the same token, who would have dropped his name to be part of it? Because this third guy, again, I have the information about a third guy. I haven't seen him implicated in nothing. I haven't even seen his name trying to be dropped. Haven't even seen a picture of him. And he's in the same pictures that you guys use to deduce the other 2 men. How is that possible? So the third guy gets to slide? And if I'm not talking about the guy who they alleged to name Kevin. I believe he's long gone. If he's not out of the state, he's in a different place that is not that county. He probably made moves. Maybe he saw Zorro Rice Reserve was like, I'm out of here. It could be. We never know what the case could be. Because you see, there's a lot of people that play for the wrong team sometimes. You know what I mean? They play for the wrong reasons sometimes. So he probably saw the reasoning. And I don't think whoever off Tentacion was part of the mastermind plan. I don't think they were all in on what was actually going to happen. I don't think they were. Because if they were, they wouldn't have acted how they did. That's why I said, how are you linking Boatwright? You know what I mean? Someone had to be on the inside knowing what the other people were thinking. But then there was someone else who was working to their own agenda, putting together a picture on the side. It's all simple mathematics. It makes for the greatest movie. We could look at movies and see this type of action that is synonymous to this issue that hasn't been solved yet. And what's taking them so long to solve it? Think of a normal person. Think of you. If you were in a case and something was about to go down, they'd solve it fast. Why were there no ambulances? Everything was pitched. How? Listen, after a murder, how was a witness able, or a fanatic, let's say, able to go up and take pictures of a dead body? How's that possible? I've never seen that. I've never take pictures of dead body before the cops arrive. How do you go out the store after the shooting and feel brave enough to take pictures? Like as if the guys couldn't double back and see who was witnessing. None of it's making sense. It's getting deeper. Where were the ambulances and authorities? Where were y'all at? Both of you. Where were they at? Did the parents show up first? Well, that would give us an inkling to something really not right. How did the parents show up before authorities? Because like I said, y'all weren't all that busy. There's levels to priority when it comes to dealing with cases like this. Somebody had their priorities off. And that's objectively given a reason for you. Someone's priorities were off in this situation. Whose were they? Whoever's priorities were off, that's who the perpetrators were. That's who allowed these type of things to happen. You know, and like I said, you guys drive past and show up when ain't nobody calling, ain't nobody looking for you. You didn't show up to a murder fast enough to catch gunmen fast enough. What'd they do? You want to know what's crazy? Just like a movie, I bet they drove right past y'all as y'all were rushing there. No information given. The witnesses didn't even take time to see the make, model of the car, color, nothing. Just, oh, Tentacion's here, he's getting attacked. Can we hear that 911 call? Can we hear that 911 call? Or was it a 911 call, or did you guys mysteriously know just to show up? That's going to make a big difference. Where's that 911 call? Yeah, that should be the primary title, but where was ambulance and authorities? Where was that 911 call too? I'm waiting, I'm listening. Since it's so hard to come up with the video that's strapped to the side of your shop, where's the 911 call? Because if there's no 911 call, the plot thickens. And that's a fact. All rights reserved.